Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Beaches. My name's Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. Okay, so to play this song the easiest, we need a capo on fret number 3. If you're in need of a capo, there is a link to one in the description, so check that out. However, jumping in with the introduction, we have 4 chords that we want to learn. The first chord is an A minor chord. That's going to start the song. And to play an A minor, we need an open A string, 2 on the D and G strings. This is in reference to the capo, so 2 up from there. 1 on the B string, and an open E string. So that's the first chord. We'll talk through the other chords of the introduction, then we'll talk about strumming and structure afterwards. However, the second chord that we need is a D major chord, which is an open D string, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, and 2 on the high E string. The next chord that we need is a G major chord, which is a 3 on the E string, 2 on the A, 0, 0, 0, and then a 3 on the high E string. And the last chord that we need is what we call a C major 7. You can either use these 2 fingers to play it, or those 2 fingers, doesn't really matter, but the notes are 3 on the A string, 2 on the D, and then 0 on the remaining strings. So those 4 chords in that order is what's going to get you through the introduction. A minor to D, G to the C major 7 chord. So strumming wise we have this. So for the first 2 chords we have down, down, and then an up. And then we have a quick change to the D major chord. And you'll notice just as I'm changing, I have a lot of up and down movement going on there. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down. And then as I'm playing the D major chord, it's mostly on those down strokes. And then I've got a down up to finish off the D major chord. Then I repeat the same strumming pattern for the G and the C major 7. So I'm just repeating the same pattern for the first 2 chords and the 3rd and 4th chords. So if you play through those chords twice, you'll get the introduction. Then, when the vocals properly kick in, which is going to be the first verse, we play the same 4 chords 3 times in a row. However, the last part of the verse changes. Now, there's going to be a few different changes, and it's a little bit strange at times with how the chords are being used. So if you're interested in getting the chord chart for this, which has all the chords in the correct order with the full structure, as well as the chords and the lyrics matching up, so let's say if you want to sing and play along together, then head on over to Patreon, there's a link in the description, and you can get everything wrote out professionally. Saves you from trying to memorize or trying to write it out yourselves and potentially making a mistake. So it's just a few dollars, check that out, links in the description. However, that last part of the verse, we stay on an A minor chord for a bar, and then we go to D major, but we're going to move back and forth between D major and what we call D sus4, which is the exact same shape. However, what we do is get the little finger and put it on fret 3 on the high E string, effectively taking over from that finger. Now what we're going to do is play. So we're moving from D to D sus4 and then back to the D major chord. So what I'm going to do is play around the first chord progression that you would normally play 3 times. I'll do it just the once. And then I'm going to play the last part of the verse, the part I've just looked at, so you can see how it all fits together. So, A minor to D, G to C, then the new part, A minor, D to D sus4. Okay, so at that point there, once you've done all of that, we get to the chorus. Now, the chorus is similar but different at the same time. Now, what I mean by that is that the first 3 times round, we play the same chords as we did in the verse. A minor to D, G to that C major 7. We play that 3 times round, but here's where the difference is and where it gets a little bit strange with the counting. So what happens is we go to an A minor to D, almost like we're doing the same thing again. Then we have a G. Then we go to the C, so up to now it's exactly the same. But when we go to the C, instead of kind of having just a couple of beats, we have a full bar of C. We have A minor to the D, G, C major 7, 2, 3, 4. So normally that C major 7 gets 2 beats, now we're giving it 4 beats. We then go to an A minor for a full bar, and then D to D sus 4. So that's quite a strange part going on there. So it's kind of similar to the verse, but extended and a few beats here and there. So yeah, it might be worth checking out that Patreon link just so you get everything wrote out correctly. The good news is, at this point, things start to repeat like they do a lot in pop music. And looking over to my notes, there's a post-chorus, which is basically the same 4 chords that we've been getting used to. A minor to D, G to the C major 7. Play that round twice, and then we get the start of the second verse. And just looking over, it is exactly the same as the first verse. So just do what you did before again. In fact, there's a chorus, which is exactly the same as the previous chorus, with that extra weird part at the end. But then we get to a guitar solo. Now, the guitar solo is a little bit out of the scope of this video. I'm mostly focusing on the chords. However, the chords for that are going to be similar to the chorus. A minor to D, G to the C. Do that 3 times, and then we get that extra part. Then we stay on the C. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor up to D. And that will end the guitar solo section. We then get to the bridge, and the bridge does change things. So what we do is we start off with a G major chord. And we move to what we call a G/F sharp, so it's a slash chord. Basically, take the G chord, keep that finger on the bottom, whether it's that finger or that finger, whichever one you have. Replace this finger by moving this one up to fret 2 on the E string. Sounds a bit strange on its own, but in context it works really well, because what they do is play G, then the slash chord, then the C major 7 for a full bar, then repeat. However, there's more, so yeah, lots going on here. The third time round, we play the same thing again. Then when you get to that C major 7, in the first 2 times round, we give it a full bar's worth like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. However, this time we give it 2 beats. And then we're going to go to an A major chord. This is a new chord that we have for this section, which is an open A string, 2, 2, 2 on the D, G and B, and then an open E string. We play that for a full bar, before going back to the C major 7 for 2 bars. Okay, so I'm going to play the full bridge section for you now, because there's a lot going on there, and I realised I did a lot of talking and playing at the same time. So here it is, just me shouting out the chords whilst I play them. G, slash chord, C major 7, repeat. Then we play the G again, slash chord, 2 beats for the C major 7, A major, C major 7, and there we go, we have the bridge. Good news, we then have a bit more of a song, but it is just another chorus which is the same as the chorus beforehand, so play all the other choruses exactly the same as this one. However, there is a bit of an outro, and the outro has an A minor to D, G to the C major. We play that through 4 times, and then, very randomly, we finish with an F major chord, out of nowhere. It just plays an F major chord. You can either play the bar chord version, or you can play this version, which is slightly easier, which is 3 on the D string, 2 on the G, 1, 1 on the B and E. And they play that chord once, and then that's the end of the song. So there we go, lots and lots of different chords, a bit of a timing change as well in the chorus section. So yeah, do head on over to Patreon if you do want to get that extra material. It'll make life so much easier to play along with the track. In fact, I'd like to say thanks to the people on the screen. Those are my active patrons. So the moment this video goes live, they'll get access to that content straight away. So thanks to them for their support, thanks to you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.